Hello everyone. Today I wanted to talk about why I don't really use LibreOffice, especially the spreadsheet part for doing actual work. Now, LibreOffice or LibreOffice, Libre, I think Libre because I know a bit of, I don't know how to pronounce, but I think it is probably LibreOffice. But LibreOffice is great and I've used it. I always have this installed on my computer, and just to give you an idea, I use it for creating presentations, for creating documents, and when I talk about presentations, I'm talking about files that I need to send. For example, let us say if I have to prepare like something like maybe table of, or not really table, but let us say if I have to, um, I'm just trying to think of an example. For example, I used to do trainings, and I used to prepare a lot of uh, training outlines with nice title and background image, and it was a bit complicated document, not like a simple HTML document. So it is always convenient to use like some UI based tools when you are when you have to create those PDF files or some kind of presentation that is probably a bit complicated. So I have used LibreOffice quite a lot, and I'm comfortable using it. But talking about the spreadsheet, I I use it. I have always tried to find some usage of a spreadsheet, but to be honest, and if you are following my channel, I think I have talked about this in the past. I have always used Office Excel, Microsoft Excel, for actual work where I am interacting with someone, um, maybe like a client, or if I have to send a file, let us say an Excel file to someone, I will use Excel instead of using something like LibreOffice, because even in LibreOffice you can actually create Excel files, but I am not honestly comfortable using it, because let us say if I'm preparing a sheet with numbers, and those numbers can be important numbers. Usually in sheets, in spreadsheets, you have formulas, and you want to make sure the formatting is top notch, because when you're interacting with corporates, or maybe you're sending this information to someone, and you don't really want to mess it up, you cannot really afford to mess it up, then you then I think it is better to use a proprietary tool like Excel. Of course, as I mentioned before, for my own personal needs, I hardly use Excel. But at the same time, I'm I mean, I hope one day people and everyone will accept uh, various formats. For example, I have written books, and my publisher was very open about it. I mean, use whatever software you want to use, and they accept actually the files that you create using LibreOffice, which is awesome and great. And I'm sure one day everyone will be like that. Okay, they will be open with any format. But I think when it comes to corporates, I think it's a bit difficult. They rely on Microsoft tools, and if you are doing any interaction with them, I mean, if you follow YouTubers online, Linux YouTubers like me. I mean, I am also like doing the same thing. By the way, I mean, I think I'm also in the same category, but I am always. I mean, let us say if you have to interact with someone, or maybe you're dealing with someone, and that someone is, let us say, a company, and they insist on using Excel files, or maybe Word documents, for example, or PPT files, then I believe you should be flexible, because it is because they are paying you. Like let us say you're involved with them in some way. Maybe you're working with them, or you're working for them, or maybe you're dealing with them, and you know that these proprietary formats are accepted. It is safe to use them, especially when it comes to spreadsheet. I don't think I will. I mean, for simple. I mean, to be honest, it depends on your level of usage. if you're talking about a simple table with some numbers and simple formulas, then it is probably fine. You can take a risk, but most of the times I have problems with the LibreOffice spreadsheet program. I mean, you can open Excel files in it. You can also create Excel files using it, but it is a bit risky. I mean, for anything which is a bit more complicated, it will probably not work as you expect it to work. Same for Google Drive and spreadsheet, Google Sheets. And by the way, because I have because I had to use Excel in my life, because I worked with corporates, big corporates, like biggest telecom companies in the world, and I had to work on Word, Excel, Outlook, Microsoft-based products, because that was, of course, part of my job. And there's nothing wrong in it. I mean, if you are in love with Linux, great. But if you have to work on a technology or proprietary softwares, I think there is nothing wrong in it. You should be open about it. And I spent a lot of time working on Excel, and I used to automate things using VBA macros to save my time, because I always try to save time, create processes that I can create methods that I can repeat. For example, if I'm doing something with Excel and I have to do it every day, or maybe if I'm doing some data processing, then I'm comfortable using Excel macros. For example, if you follow me from my Ravi Sagar channel, where I talk about nothing but Jira, I think I have covered this topic of creating Jira issues from Excel, or maybe creating an Excel file from Jira. I mean, there is a plugin, by the way, for doing that, but let us not talk about Jira right now. But the thing is that if you have to use Excel, use it, and don't feel ashamed of using the proprietary softwares. At the same time, wherever applicable, use Linux, use open source softwares, use LibreOffice. And I was going to talk about Google Sheets. Same goes for Google Sheets. I have used it, I believe, from day one when it was launched, because it is convenient. Anyone can use it. You don't need to install anything. It is web-based, which is probably not ideal for all the use cases. I mean, for my own personal needs, I keep everything in text files, org mode. But if someone is sending me something like information, or if I have to send some information, like useful information to someone, and I know that someone is not really using Excel, but they have an account on Google, so they can probably open this file. So same goes for Google Sheets. And again, even for Google Sheets, I try to automate wherever I can, whenever I can. And you can actually use Google Apps Script, which is not at all difficult. So this is what I'm trying to share today. I'm not really ashamed of using proprietary softwares. On this machine, I'm using, of course, Linux. Linux has been my main operating system, but I always have somewhere like a copy of Windows installed. And if I'm working, if I'm using my work laptop, I have, of course, Microsoft Office. It could be on Mac, it could be on Windows, and if I have to use it, I will use it. And that is all. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. Do not restrict yourself. I'm telling you, because I made mistakes in my professional life when I was young, when I was a bit arrogant. I'm not arrogant right now. I try not to be. I try to be humble, but I'm from Delhi, and it is a bit difficult for Delhiites to be humble. But don't make a mistake. Don't lose an opportunity if you have to deal with someone, and that someone is not using Linux or open source softwares. I think it is a long journey. It is like a movement, or it is like some kind of ideology, I believe, that we guys follow. and I think Linux. I think people have been talking about, a lot of YouTubers are talking about Linux has no feature. I don't think that is true at all. Uh, Linux is everywhere, but it will probably never match what uh, Windows or Mac has achieved in the desktop world. But I'm sure more and more people will adopt Linux, and I believe we guys, people who are into Linux promotion, uh, they are doing their bit, and I think that is it. That is all I wanted to talk about in this video. I can keep on going, by the way, but I thought I'll probably also talk about this today and give you my inputs. Bye bye.